Alright, back again, Luke here. And today what I thought we could do is look at a kind of interesting piece of gaming history, and that is this, the Conveni Wars Barcode Battler 2 system. Now, for those of you who grew up in the 1980s, I'm sure no one is a stranger to the Tiger LCD screen games. This is something very similar to that, maybe on a little bit more of a basic level. The original Barcode Battling 2 system here, what it did is it allowed for two players, one player on the left side and one on the right, to do a battle versus each other using cards that had barcodes on them. Very similar to like playing cards or credit cards. These cards had different statistics on them, and they had different monsters, and they also had different items and different weapons that you could slide through this card reader and then go ahead and battle each other. So very simplistic kind of system, but it was portable. It did run on batteries, and it did help pass the time, but nothing super exciting. One thing that did make the system unique and a lot more exciting for a lot of gamers and kids at that time was this. The introduction of the Super Famicom Barcode Battler interface unit. And what this did here is it took the Barcode Battling 2 system and it intertwined it with an interface unit for the Super Famicom, and also used a game cart which was designed around like battles or war. And it would take all of the cards that you had, swipe them through the Battler card reader, and load them up into the system, and then you could do kind of like a head-to-head battle, but you could see it in 16-bit, and you could also listen to music for it. So it was a lot better than the original itself. But one thing that made this a little bit more interesting was the amount of cards that it had available for it. Now, if we just pan back here, let you guys take a look at some of the cards that were available for the system. Now, this isn't a huge collection by any means, but this is more than just a few cards that you could use in order to play the game. If you notice down here, there were a few different cards that were given or that came with the system, kind of like a starter pack. Had different kinds of enemies on them, and the pictures didn't necessarily represent the exact same picture that would come up on the Super Famicom, but they gave statistics to them, hit points in the bottom corner that told what kind of enemy it was, if it was a magic using enemy or if it was just a regular tank kind of soldier. Also, it had different kinds of items that came with it. There were about, I think, a stack of 10 that came with the unit originally, and those were about 5 enemies, 2 of these different items, and then 3 of the weapons, and then you could use those interchangeably. There were also some different cards that were available through different sources, so going into different convenience stores and checking out different vendors, there were other cards here, like as you can see the Super V, and this one here has some texture to it on the top. And there were other ones through Meiji, and even some that were originally made by Nintendo. Some of those being like the Super Mario Brothers series, as well as the Zelda series, and even here, I have a few of the Street Fighter II ones. So it's really unique. On the back side here, it'll give you a little bit of a synopsis. It'll say the character's name, the height, when they were born. It'll also show the power or the story on the back here. And this is the barcode, which you would take and you would slide through here, and it would read it through the system. Now, with this system here itself, it has 4 AA batteries that are in the back here, has a sound on-off switch, which you can turn on and off at your will, and it has the power button on the front. Now, if you were just going to play this head-to-head without any sort of connections, you could just disconnect this cord, and you could just use it the way it is. If we just turn it on here, you'll see that there are different kind of scanning levels here. There's C0, there's also C1, and C2. And each one has a different kind of set to it. C0 is for the head-to-head battling. C1 is for the, I believe, what is it? Allows you to do options or changing the stages. And then C2 is one where you can do story mode. So it does have some interesting parts here. Once you choose your mode, you can just hit the set button and it will say that it's ready for a card. Now, for some cards, it won't read it. It just depends because the system itself is designed for a specific card, and you can see here it's just not reading it. Some cards itself will be maybe too big or too, let me see here. I don't know if this one will... Yeah, this one here is not going to read it. If you try and read some of these cards here by themselves, you'll see that some of these are bent and the system won't read it. So it has to be really, really set up well in order to read. In order to do the head-to-head battle, it does take the specific cards that are made for the system, and it's really picky about the barcodes. One kind of cool thing that they did do is they took the barcode from the original box too, so the UPC code, and they allowed you to make up your own cards here. So, for example, the Super Wizard, this was just a regular card, but what you would do is take the barcode off of the box and you would cut it out and then tape it on there, and you could use that as a playable character. So really interesting parts here. Like I had mentioned, the system itself, in order to get this to work, you'll need a Super Famicom, you'll need the barcode battling software or the game for it, the cassette. If you don't have the cassette, then you won't be able to use this interface system. There are about 5 or, I don't know, 10 games that were made for this system that could be allowed to work with the Barcode Battling 2 system, but this is the one here that we're going to focus on for today in order to use this whole set here. You have Player 1 that has a controller plugged into Player 1 controller port. Player 2 controller port is the one that is plugged into the interface unit. Then the interface unit is plugged into the side port here on the Barcode Battling system. Now you would think when you go to turn this on, you could just turn the power on, swipe a card through, and you'd be all set and be able to play this no problem. But actually there's quite a few different tricks to this system in order to get it to work with the interface unit. In order to be able to play games with this game system here with the Super Famicom, what you have to do is first, and if you don't have the instructions, this can be extremely impossible to try and figure out, but you have to hold the R power and the R battle button, then you have to hit the on. And you'll notice it says that it says battle side, and then it says swipe the card or insert card here. Now, when we go to hit the switch, this system will be all kind of set up here with the, let's see if I can plug this one back in, the interface unit, and you can see the title here. So, from here, you press the start button, and then there are many different options. We'll do that right now here. There is a bit of a very long intro for this game, but unfortunately don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to try and skip out of that. We'll hit the start button here. And what you'll notice here is it says that there's a scenario mode. You can do your Barcode Battling 2 battle mode. You can do original battle, or you can do the sound options menu. So here's stereo and mono. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down to the Barcode Battler 2. It's got some kind of cool music in it as well. Then we're going to go to the death match. This is what this one says, death match here. And it says 1 turn, so... And how many players are there going to be? There's just 2 players here. Now this will bring us up to our main menu, and what it says here is it says player 1, and it's ready for the card to put the card in, so, or put the character in. So what we're going to do down here is we're going to try and find a character, find one of these that we can use, hopefully. Let's see. Let's try this one. Now, like I said, it's bent, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to go in. We'll try and see if it registers. Well, let's try it again. Okay, let me see. Let me try and hold this a little bit straighter. There we go. So, this is our character that's been input into the system, and it says, is it okay, or do you want to retry it? Do you want to give it a name? So we'll just hit start here. We'll hit OK. Now for our player 2, let's see if we can do this again. It's a different card here. Try and take another look at it. So, try and see if I can get this as flat as possible. And then, yeah. There we go. So, now we have our second character. And it says, is this one okay? So we'll click OK on that. Now what it says is put an item in for the player. So I want to try and find an item card here. If I have one for this set, hopefully I do. see. Okay, so there's the item for this one. This one's got a staff or a thunder rod. And this one's okay. Now for player 2, we'll try another one. And this one's got an ice rod, so we'll click OK on this. And now this is where we'll do our battling. And the way this works here, it's not anything super special. What you'll do is you'll press the A button, and it'll choose which side goes first. And then pressing A button again. The first one, Kogeki, that means is attack. Then you have your Mahou, which means your magic. And you have your Yakuso, which is basically your potions, your items, and then your power down here at the bottom. So we're just going to go with, let's see, I don't think I introduced any magic this time, so we'll just go with the regular attack. And it says that there was a miss, an attack miss, so we'll try it again. And you can see there was 5,000 damage. But this is just one example of the two characters here. These two characters are very similar to each other, so it's, yeah, you can see the one character already died. These two characters are very similar to each other, so it can be a very quick battle. Kind of like a little bit of a Mega Man kind of look right there. So, winner is MJ001. And it'll tell you the statistics here too. So, statistics between different battles and different players. But then you can go through it again and you can introduce another player if you want to. Let me see if I can find a different one. Try this one more time. Let's see if we can find another player. Alright, so here's our first player. We'll give this a shot. And, let's see, second player. Try another. Let's try Death Camel. Or the name is Death Camel, so very interesting. Alright, and let's see about introducing an item for these guys. Oh, let's try this again. Okay, that's not working. That one worked. Like I said, for some of these it can be quite tricky to get these things to run through. Let's see, how about this one? Nope, that's not working. Trying to find the correct one to work with the character is difficult. Let's see. There we go. That worked. Now we got a little bit of magic with this one, so. And we'll give this a shot here again. And once again, it'll do the random battle. See which one goes first. And there's the hit points in there. And we'll give this a shot. Let's see. Magic. Let's try. Let's see. Décance. See, the character almost died there. It's a different one. Let's see. Gantz. Try that. Nothing super, amazing as far as the graphics go here, but it is kind of cool. And once again, it would show you the character stats. It would be something that you could use throughout the game to show which one was first, how long it took for each battle, and all of those different interesting parts of the game itself. But just wanted to share with you guys a little bit of a look at what the Barcode Battling 2 system here looks like for the Super Famicom. Like I had mentioned, there are quite a few games, or at least a handful of games, or about 10 games that use the Barcode Battler 2 system. And lots of interesting parts about this particular system here, not only the fact that it can be used by itself, but that it can also be intertwined in here with the Super Famicom, and yeah, provided lots of entertainment for young children around the early days of the 1992-93. But yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.